Okay, live stream is on.
Oh, come on.
Okay, everybody, on best language.
No, nobody dares to speak.
It's always
Concentrating to get airborne.
Roger that.
This is dangerous work we're doing now.
How's live weather?
It's a lovely day.
Lovely, lovely day.
It is an awesome day for flying.
It's always a lovely day in France. Welcome to France, by the way, because we are here in Martinique, which is a French territory.
Bonsoir alors.
Oui, oui.
Comment ça va?
La maison, la baguette. And that's about how far I get.
Et les flûtes?
Le parapluie.
Aussi.
Le 2 jours.
It's actually the first time I go to Martinique, so it's a good way for me to spot some
Right.
ideas for next holidays.
And to remind yourself that real life is also real time, right? No spawning on the runway.
So just be careful with the volcano in front of us. It's still active sometimes.
That's fine, I'm carrying a big cargo rubber dog poop. Do.
Right, let's get on course now. 348 degrees, did you say? Yeah.
Flying around, forgot to set off. There you go.
So, Jonathan, how was Amsterdam?
Haven't been yet, we're going next week.
Oh, I missed you last Sunday.
Oh yeah, I just didn't make it to the flight last week.
Okay.
You need to use the perfect excuse of, I'd love to come along, but I don't want to. Simple. Confuses them more than anything else. That was me flying behind you on your live stream yesterday, Jonathan, in the army.
Oh, okay.
Carabo.
Yeah, I was talking to my other half earlier today actually about ideas for more films, and she said I need to go back to basics because I've had loads of comments recently with people saying they don't know how to navigate without GPS to do everything for them. So I think that might be actually be a good course to do. You know, a few videos explaining old-fashioned compass navigation first, and then VORs.
I was with you as well on the beach.
Yeah, I did joined in the flight the other week. Is it AHD navigation?
I don't know.
It is AHD. That's the other choice, isn't it? You've got an
ADF, you mean?
ADF ad navigation. That was tricky.
Well, the problem with that is there's not many masts left.
No, that was a tricky. Getting that to work in the aircraft was not easy. That was a challenge.
Second star to the right.
That's the thing I would really love to learn, would be astral navigation. But the maths is nasty.
The problem with NDBs in this game is some of them are decimal 5s and there's no way to tune that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. You end up cheating if you're flying in the same country you live in. You just cheat and you just go on points of interest.
The problem with astral navigation is it takes you a very long time to get to the nearest star.
And there's no coffee shop.
Also, I think in a live stream it's not appropriate to name the instruments you use for the astro stuff.
Very difficult these days if you're trying to get an accurate fix, because the aircraft are a lot faster these days and you're not where you thought you were by the time you've done all the maths.
Something that becomes quite obvious flying that new Caribou is, with just you in the cockpit controlling everything, it becomes a real handful sometimes, because by the time you've looked around and fiddled with something in the cockpit, the plane's started to veer off on its own.
It's happening to me right now.
Well, that DHC6 must be a real pain then.
Yeah. Though some of them have got a gyro pilot of that era, so they're okay. It's just, yeah, the Caribou hasn't. So
I'm getting a great feeling though in VR. This is fantastic. You get a real feeling of. It just feels more authentic than a lot of cockpits.
yeah.
It's feeling a big, old-fashioned, and yeah, it just seems to work. It reminds me a little bit of the Junkers, the AU-52.
Yep.
Anyone else here flying the Piper Arrow?
I thought about it and I changed my mind at the last moment.
Yeah, me too. I'm waiting 2 weeks because there's an update out shortly. They're going to fix the handling.
Did you see Steve's video, Tony, on the new Stormforce state of the art AMD setup?
No, I haven't yet. No.
What disappointing was that? God, really.
Sparky will be upset then. Yeah.
Wow, absolute top of the range. Everything from AMD, and 30 to 35% poorer than. Well, it's poorer than what I've got, and I'm on a 4070 and an old i7.
Oh dear.
Really bad. 30 frames in London. Not even top settings.
Wow.
Yeah, it was poor. I mean, it's no better than my old 3070.
Surely that's just down to drivers though, and they'll improve
It must be, yeah. It must be. It should improve. It was, the boxes were red lines, so it's just, there's a CPU problem there somewhere as well. So if both are not performing well, it's going to be double jeopardy.
So we're heading out across the water to Dominica.
Did everybody bring their life preserver?
Check your fuel levels before you go out across the water.
And rubber duckies, of course.
Well, you need a yellow one for emergency purposes.
What, the rubber ducky?
Exactly.
High vis rubber duck.
Little nav man saying no one at the next airfield, so that makes it easy.
I remember years ago, talking to the emergency stuff, a friend of mine, as a joke, gave his wife a whistle and told her to keep it, just for keep it safe. Right? And she never ever, well, she didn't use it for years. And one day she had a little bit of cause to use it, so she blew it, and it's actually like a duck whistle. So she's in a little bit of a pickle, and there's this little duck noise comes out of this whistle. She was not happy at Army guys. Literally, she blows it at someone across the street because she was nervous of him, and it just went quack. Same guy that cut his who was it? It was his NCO back in the day. Cut his. Remember the old shaving sticks that you used to rub against your face and they'd foam up? He cut it in half, scooped out a bit in the middle, and stuck a prawn in it, and then stuck it back together. So weeks and weeks this guy was using his shaving stick, and then this prawn started to appear, and he's rubbing this mouldy old prawn over his face for weeks on end.
So I'm just looking at a little nav map. We're already strung out over 20 miles, the group. So when we get to the next airfield, if everyone can circle and then try to stick to about 120, 130 knots.
Lyndon's the tail dragger.
Yeah, sorry I'm late.
Yeah, but he won't be able to catch up either because, yeah, we've got the leaders are like 40 knots faster than we normally are.
Be waiting longer.
So yeah, for anyone that hasn't flown with us before, we generally look for about 120, 130 knots en route. That's what we estimate on, just so people get a wide range of aircraft then. We ought to do a shorter route one night, didn't we, and let people have the much slower planes like the Kit Foxes and stuff like that.
Oh, the Wilgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
A tour of farms in the Czech Republic or something like that. It's changed name, hasn't it? It's not Czech Republic anymore. Is it Czechia now?
No, it is Czech Republic.
Oh, okay.
Yes, definitely not Chechnya.
No, Czechia. Sorry.
Oh, Czech. Very different places in the world.
They are very, very different.
All with similar name.
Well, they kept Slovakia and Czech Republic instead of the previous Czechoslovakia.
Yes.
Yeah, in Spain we call them Czechia.
So all of that geography and all of those lessons at school wasted.
Oh,
I'm so glad I never paid any attention whatsoever.
I remember
Those countries are near Leicester.
Everywhere's near Leicester.
the
Or is it Luton?
come on, that's not funny. I remember one of my college lecturers, his degree, or before he stopped the degree and changed degree completely and did computer science, he was doing geography. Unfortunately, he was doing geography just as the science came through about the tectonic plates. So everything he had learned all the way through college and university was completely erased because it was all wrong.
Good job he was in college.
Yeah.
What changed due to the tectonic plates?
Well, just the theory that the surface of the Earth's crust was made up of plates. That was a modern.
Okay.
It came through in kind of, I guess, late 60s, early 70s, became accepted, which meant a lot of the textbooks were destroyed.
You're telling us it's not flat next.
It's not.
Looks pretty flat here.
down here, down under, they're actually rewriting our history. How's that? Can you change history? We don't have much of one down here, but what we have got, they're trying to change it all.
Well, it's my browser history, no problem.
1984 all over again.
This island's getting closer, isn't it?
Right in the middle, Jonathan, at 125 knots. Slowed down.
How's the weather in New Zealand at the moment? Have you recovered from all
No.
that terrible stuff?
No, we've got another one coming in. There's another one brewing in the North Pacific due to come down next week, but they think that one might miss us, but the devastation's been quite catastrophic in some areas, and yet down the bottom of the South Island they've got a drought. It's ridiculous. It's only affected the east coast of the North Island is the part that's been hit the hardest. I happen to live there.
No significant loss of life, is there?
I think it's about 11 or 12 dead confirmed at this
Oh,
stage.
man.
Washed away in the raging torrents. One of the biggest problems is down the east coast, forestry is a very big thing, and they leave all the slashings behind. And when we get a devastating downpour like this, all that rubbish gets washed down the rivers, and it's been taking out the bridges and the railway lines, and it's all because the greenies won't let them burn it off.
Or was that the off-cut branches and small stumps and unwanted wood and stuff, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and there's colossal tonnage of it, and it's littered all over the beaches, and it's just a mess. It's meters high on some of the beaches on the east coast, because it goes out the river mouths and then all gets washed back in and dumped on the beaches. A huge clean-up job. Let it dry out and put a match to it, but oh no, you cannot do that.
Just what past the yacht with a spinnaker on.
Have you got
Wasn't that group in the 70s?
Have you got the boats out on then that's putting shipping and stuff in the sea?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
World stuff. Yes.
What's the plan here? Are we all touch and going or not?
Yes.
Supposed.
So go on.
Alright, let's start descending then.
I think touch and goes until, was it Marie Galante is the halfway point?
Is there a good coffee shop there, boys? I had to ask.
French coffee shop.
Oh,
Yes.
that'll do.
So if those in front want to do circuits after they've done their touch and go, or do multiple touch and goes, then at least you do get to watch others coming in and either doing really well or making a hash of it.
So we are back to Commonwealth on Dominica. But it's an independent island now, right?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Who owns this one?
They do now.
Oh, okay. Independent, I think.
Yeah, slowly I think over the next 20, 30 years or so, I think they're all going to go back to their own government, or governing, if that's what you call it.
Gibraltar will be an interesting one.
And the Falklands.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, basically the main difference between, this island, Dominica, is fully independent, while Martinique and Guadeloupe are still official French parts. I mean, they have their own local government and rules and things, but they are officially part of the French state.
So they're actual French departments?
Guadeloupe is a department. Martinique has changed a little bit the status. It's, I think it's how they call it, collective territory, something like this. Again, this has changed since what I've learned in school when I was a kid.
Yeah, what about Saint-Pierre Miquelon?
It's another category, but yeah, it's also part of the French overseas territory.
Just happened to glance right and have noticed the other Piaggio next to me. Or Piaggio, sorry. So, is that a scenery glitch to the right of our approach up in the hills? It's like a...
It's a sharp hill.
Yeah.
It's where the Grinch lives.
Ruffalo. And gravity-defying rivers up that valley as well.
You see the cruise liners under the water, just as they're coming into the airport.
Sorry Alice, I'm going to be rude, I'm going to dive in front of you, I can't slow down quick enough.
I was impressed with the photogrammetry around Auckland and Wellington in the New Zealand scenery.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I did go and have a look at. It's far more realistic now. In fact, on Saturday night, I was on the 10th floor of one of the big office towers in Auckland, where they've got a corporate reception lounge where my niece had her 40th birthday. It was quite spectacular. It was a nice night. I didn't drink too much, though. You had to drive home yesterday. 4 hours it took us.
Okay, I have visuals on the runway, and I can see the the sub-aqua cruise liner.
Interesting approach.
I'm quite proud of that touch and go.
It's got the bespoke Asobo tree at the beginning of it.
As you do.
Protected, not allowed to cut it down.
It's copyright.
Got someone living in it. Someone called Swampy living in it.
Do you think the people that live in these houses on the approach on the hillside get annoyed with the aeroplanes buzzing their roofs?
They won't be happy today, Jonathan.
They won't. Especially if any of us hit the roofs.
I'm coming round for a second go.
Do the bars open in Auckland on a Sunday evening now? Because they didn't 20 odd years ago.
Everything's open. It never closes now.
We spent an evening looking for somewhere to drink because there was a girl in the backpackers who was having a birthday, and we ended up finding it can only be described as a Maori club. And we went in and we got some strange looks until they realised we were all sort of backpackers and foreigners, and we spent the evening arm wrestling and doing shots. It was a great night.
It's a little bit different now. We came home at about 12:30, 1 a.m. in the morning, and the teeny boppers were all queuing up outside the bar, still waiting to get in. I don't think they start their activities till 2 in the morning.
Right? Because Sunday was a proper Sunday, 20 odd years ago.
Oh, well.
Don't forget your gear in the 149.
Man, that caribou should not be that removed. Easy for me to say, manoeuvrable. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm totally enjoying it.
There's a group of guys out front there, Jonathan, that didn't listen to your instructions.
Well, they might not speak English.
True.
Okay, I think we're all back together. So where is the next leg? 38 degrees, 13.5 miles over to Melville Hall.
Bit of a climb if you're going to go direct.
Well, I'm just looking at that. I think I'm alright.
Bit windy out there.
So if I open add-on Linko, is it going to crash my sim?
If you fiddle with it, it will. Or it wouldn't crash it probably, but you're not usually allowed to meddle with it. You can load it while it's running, but it won't. Yeah, if you meddle with it, it might break the sim.
I've got my global shipping turned off, so it's a little barren out in the oceans.
Yeah, you won't be able to do anything like that while it's running.
Right, so I'll leave it be.
I think it basically indexes all the add-ons on launch.
Yeah, it doesn't load everything, but it indexes everything. So if you change some files inside, if you reboot or restart with an aircraft, it will activate, but it has to be started from the beginning. So if you're adding a new, like the Geist ship thing, you have to restart the sim.
I'll leave it, thanks.
You do know it's going to crash because you mentioned it. And it's listening to you.
I'm in VR, so there's always the chance of it crashing anyway.
Oh, yeah.
It'll just do it on purpose.
Just because it's 4 minutes past the hour or half past or Sunday. It's like an old British car. It'll break down because it might rain next Wednesday. Oh, that cloud looks like a rabbit. It really does.
Explanation of the week.
I'm going to take a screenshot of that. That's pretty good.
Isn't that one of the first signs of madness if you start seeing things in the clouds?
I was actually more entertained by
That's gone now.
Hey, look, it's a story squirrel.
Or, oh look, it's a pylon.
Ooh, Instaban.
The worst thing you can see in a cloud is a red and green light.
Because it's coming straight towards you.
Yeah.
Well, it depends which way round they are.
No, if they're going away from you, you'll see one white light, won't you?
They're always speeding, they're always doing twice the speed of you.
I'd say it'd be more dangerous if you were in a cloud and you suddenly saw the ground coming straight towards you.
And its name was Cliff.
We always has this thing, especially in the Alps, of sheep.
So I'm going to take the scenic route to the eastern side. There's a little valley you can fly down and fly around the coast to come into the next airfield.
Let's go.
I'm doing it on trust at the moment because I'm approaching the hill. I can't see beyond it yet.
Beyond lies certain death.
Go through that saddle to the left.
Sorry, saw a spit.
This is kind of one of those islands where they would have filmed kind of 1960s and 70s movies with Doug McClure or somebody, isn't it? Where they get stranded and discover dinosaurs and cavemen and stuff.
Lost in Wolverhampton or something like that, yeah?
Yeah, this is where they filmed Death in Paradise.
Really? I didn't know that. They're filming it in Loo now in Cornwall, aren't they? The latest series.
That's the new one. They're doing 2 now, so they've got Death in Paradise and the
spin-off.
Something else in paradise, isn't it?
Death in
Paradise.
Living in paradise, is it?
After Paradise, I think.
Yeah.
Death in Mediocre City.
Be where Chris Marshall spends the entire episode in the penny arcade and comes out 60 quid worse off.
So true.
No, like they run into one that was in Foy in one building, and they come out of this at the police station. That's behind the.
Oh, that's like watching Morse, though, isn't it?
Yeah. They came out just what is it, the back of the toilets in Loo.
Yeah, that's the problem. If you know the area where something's filmed, none of it ever makes any sense.
No, they were jumping like 1 minute they were in Devon, next minute they're in Loo.
That's like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, wasn't it? Where they went the wrong way along Adrian's Wall.
The Met Police used to have a rule that any car chases did not have to make sense in real life. Just so nobody copied them.
That's a pretty good point, actually. Right.
It's a bit choppy.
Yeah, there's some wind hitting these hills, isn't there? Throwing us around.
Yeah, I'm just not able to slow down.
Oh, is there a little touch and go there?
Oh, I was trying to fly formation with the other 149s, but
Yeah.
nope.
What direction you guys coming in? There seems to be.
You'd have to go for runway 09.
Wind is
get-
coming
thank
from
you.
140.
So I can see the
There's a
airfield.
little valley to fly down in 09.
Well, I turn the labels off. I see a whole lot of fireflies.
Oh, any closer, Emmanuel, you're going to have to buy me dinner.
In fact, the delivery on the DHC4, the one I see is the prototype of the one I'm currently making for Virtual Flight, so I'm looking in detail.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're working.
I have some
No,
trouble in getting the right metal effect, but it looks quite good. So
Well, better get
That
those
was my
details
worst
in
landing
quick. After this landing, it'll be all crumpled and not so shiny. We'll see how quick this turns.
Next stop's the coffee break, boys. Is 20 degrees magnetic.
Hello.
Good evening.
Evening.
Still, I try to find out where is the flight plan.
In the events info.
In the
Info,
events
okay,
info. It's just a list of airfields. You need to punch it in yourself.
I saw the flight plan, but I was wondering if there was already a PLN file.
Yeah, it's in the events info channel.
In the events info channel.
Somebody do it, did they, Jonathan?
I think so.
Yeah, there is one.
Yeah, I downloaded it, but it's disappeared, so I'm just following everybody. It's not difficult.
No, I put one back in.
Just follow all the planes.
Is our next stop Foxtrot Sierra? Because I see a lot of people flying north.
Yep, I'm just looking at the map myself to figure it out. So from
Foxtrot Mike, isn't it?
Yeah, so from Marie Galante it's
20 degrees.
Oh, so we're just taking Le Saints, haven't we? We're going north, yeah, to
Foxtrot Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take it.
God help.
I take it the runway 09 again.
And there's something wrong with my flight plan then.
We're leaving Melville Hall. We're en route to Marie Galante, TFFM, yeah?
Yeah,
So
that's good.
We're heading 20 degrees magnetic, 20 miles.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, my flight plan's taking me to Foxtrot Sierra. Don't know why, but
You already started the event, or
yep.
still taking off?
No, we're on our way. We're on about the third airfield.
Okay.
We start at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I tried.
English time.
Yeah, I tried to join on time, but I was on a VAT sim, and I was plus the whole trip I had headwinds. And then like 10 miles from the airport the controller puts me on hold for like 5 minutes. Damn it. Yeah, it was an interesting VAT sim. I have to miss the push. I was too high, and then I after the hold. I don't fly very often, but it was an interesting session. But it took me more than what I expected to join you.
I actually I like flights where things don't go as planned, and you have something to do all of a sudden.
Yeah, me too. But even on VFR, it was I was caught on surprise because I saw the alert that the event was about to start, and man, now it puts me on hold.
We did with the My Air group, we did an air traffic control flight over the South China Sea, and they simulated all of the aircraft being turned around.
I know My Air. I'm on that page.
Yeah.
Too. But most unfortunately, the weekdays, it's for IFR and for jets.
Yeah.
And I'm not familiar with the jets yet.
But they did a really good flight the other night. They simulated Chinese airspace being closed effectively, so all of the aircraft had to turn around in the middle of the flight and head back.
Okay.
So absolute mayhem.
Because balloons are blocking the route.
But yeah, it was sprung on everybody halfway through the flight, so everybody had to go vectors and throw the flight plan out the window.
That's funny as hell.
It was great fun.
And there's one or two that are a bit slow, do it with the FMC. So they were messed up chronic.
Probably shut down.
You can always send Joe back to the start, just say there's a drunk unruly passenger. Off you go, Joe.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
So yeah, it's looking right runway 09 at Marie Galante.
Just going to zoom in on a little nav map and see if I can find that coffee shop.
Did you say this is the halfway point? I think it is, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yep.
I've got to be honest, there's not a coffee shop, but there is an old machine in the hangar.
It's called an electric kettle.
Yeah, but it serves mellow birds. It's going to be a revolt.
You're stopping at TFFM?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, last
10
one at the
minutes.
kettle is another.
10 minutes.
One day, if I ever figure out how to do it, I'm going to make an ice cream van add-on for the simulator.
Oh.
Oh, no, Jonathan,
And they'll play
make
the tunes as well.
Oh dear.
It's got to have the music.
Some people already
Please,
did it.
Jonathan, make it a copycat.
What's the name? Did it, didn't they? With the
But you are
the
stopping
stop?
and making a pause, or just stopping and take off?
We're going to stop on the ground and just sit
Make
the
a
aeroplanes on the brakes. Yeah, 10 minutes to go get a coffee, and then we'll carry on.
Yeah, the Trent Palmer one's now got a horn, and you can hear it in multiplayer.
Yeah, but does it sound like an ice cream van though?
I think
Which runway are we landing?
09.
09.
Hearing Greensleeves or Popeye the Sailor Man go past you at 300 knots would be quite funny.
So
Drop the shift would be quite nice.
the only reason we're all saying 09 is those of us with live weather on, the wind's coming out of the east at about 10 knots.
The biggest attendance I ever saw on an event so far. So far.
I think the VATSIM events, when they do the cross-channel ones, are crazy.
I think Mark Simhanger, we had he had
Like-
72.
Like everybody talking at the same time. That must be crazy.
Yeah. I know a few of the guys that are sometimes on here have done some of the VATSIM events, the big ones, and the trouble is you end up in a queue for the runway for half an hour, stuck in holds for half an hour to an hour. It just turns into a bit of a nightmare.
Has anyone done a simulated Oshkosh?
Sorry, which server are you on?
We're on Southeast Asia.
Okay.
I
Because,
think the sim would have a heart attack.
What if we did an Oshkosh?
Yep.
I love watching the film of that though on YouTube, of the real thing. It's great fun to watch.
For people not familiar with Oshkosh, Gesundheit. Too soon?
It's the world's biggest flying. Oh, you know. Okay, well, those that don't know, it's the world's biggest flying. So it looks impressive. Yeah, the video's great.
Yeah, for those that haven't seen it, the even more impressive thing about Oshkosh is they don't have professional air traffic controllers to control the incoming aircraft. They're volunteers.
That's crazy.
And they direct them by asking them to land on coloured zones on the runway.
No, then they have a whole lot of traffic marshals on the ground, don't they, to direct everybody?
Yeah.
where to go.
Yellow highway and rocky wing.
Yeah, and they'll be shouting out an aircraft that's coming in saying, "Go long, go long."
And they don't use the tail numbers at all. They just, they reference the blue Bonanza or something
Yeah.
like that.
Cherokee, behind the Cherokee, rock your wing.
That's it.
That's got to be a recipe for disaster at some point.
You would think, but there's
I hope
very,
not.
very few accidents.
Oh, big crash.
Yeah, I think we've probably got a higher accident rate with us.
Yeah, I just saw someone turn upside down.
Upside
Maybe you needed to change your tyre.
Actually, I'm going to fly alongside and watch people coming in.
Change the pilot.
Okay, I'll be able to catch to get the scraps of the event.
Yeah, the second half, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm upside down.
Thank God
in front of me.
Well, I had to go bounce over the top of him, and thank God for reverse thrust.
I don't know. I was going to say, are you with Ellis?
In front of me. I went over the guy that was upside down in front of me.
That's me.
then I was running out of runway, but as I said, thank God for reverse thrust.
They've done something to improve this sim for the performance, because this is silky smooth with all of the airplanes being drawn.
Gonna hit the hangar.
I just saw that.
Yeah.
I think they need some new windows on that corner.
This turns on itself. It turns on its own axis. This is fantastic.
I'm gonna run. Might have to walk a little bit further to the coffee shop. Oh, that's what. Now that was very polite of you two.
My God, the flaps on that Caribou are crazy.
The second wing, you mean?
Oh, yeah. Not flaps, it's a wall. Yeah, this is running extraordinarily well.
Don't say things like that.
It's running so well, I can't see any problems or any crashes for anybody.
You just jinxed the entire session.
Or the whole Microsoft Sim, I think, is going to be absolutely perfect for the whole evening. And on that day, Satan will be going to work in a snowplow. Right, coffee time.
I'm up to go see if I can find that cart or a shop.
So for anybody watching the live stream, sorry I haven't been following along with the comments, but we're on Southeast Asia. You're welcome to come and join in. We're stopping here for 10 minutes, so I'll leave it on little nav map in view so you can see it and see where we are. There we go. Right, I'm going to get some coffee.
That's a model matching jumbo jet there.
No, someone actually is flying a 737. I suspect it's Joe.
Could be.
further down, I see 3 caribous.
Yeah, I've just changed, and I must say it's the first time I test it in VR. The cockpit is just fabulous in VR. It's crazy.
I'm back.
Three jets. My God. They're stomping everybody. Boom, boom.
Right, is everybody that's got the Caribou is going to switch onto it for the remainder of the flight?
Yeah, I was just saying while you were off, the cockpit is in VR is it's the best one of all the aircraft in the game. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
somebody else said that earlier.
Which one's that?
The Caribou.
The Caribou DHC4. The level of perspective and 3D effect is fantastic. Come on. Wow.
Can you get to the switches behind you in VR?
Yes, I can. Yeah, they're visible. Let me just check with the mouse. I'm using the mouse. I'm not using the VR handles. But yes, no, it's it totally changed the perspective compared to the 2D effect. Great job. They did a great job.
How's it flying?
I will tell you in a few minutes.
Good.
So you're saying that the Cessna 172 is not good for the remaining of the flight?
Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay.
You'll probably be going flat out though to keep up, but I had a word earlier with everybody because there were a few people doing 160, 170 knots, which wasn't really...
Sorry. The majority is doing 160.
Yeah, I think we try to aim for about 120 to 130, so
Okay.
the general rule is if you get to an airfield first, just fly circuits until everybody else gets there.
So my flight plan is a bit messed up. What's our next stop?
Le Saints. That's probably not how you pronounce it. Tango Foxtrot Sierra.
Great, thank you.
So 284 degrees, 18 miles.
That's a fun runway to land though.
Put it on the little map.
Immediately followed by its brother or sister runway 3 miles away.
So that's a challenge.
And that is just a grass field. There's no actual runway.
Brilliant.
No problem.
This is where Joe gets the 737 out.
No. I'm in the TVM now.
He might burn the grass.
Right, I'm going to take off and orbit the airfield.
They are flying the jets, or it's just model matching?
Sorry, you were very quiet then.
Oh, they are flying the jet, or is it model matching?
That's probably just model matching if you're seeing crazy aircraft.
Okay. Oh, we are taking off already.
I am. I'm just going to orbit the airfield.
Same here.
I can see two C-22Js, little jets. Is that all we've got flying tonight, or is there any more?
Are you on Southeast Asia?
We are.
All players on your multiplier section. Seems doing weird things. It keeps taking my labels off, so I'll check the multiplier settings to make sure
The
you're all.
helicopter.
You should see at least 30 aircraft.
I've just realised if you don't own the Caribou, that's why you're seeing the big airliners.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? Because I mean, I suppose it probably wouldn't be really good if it was a little Piper that you saw instead of it. At least it's a similar size.
Yeah, I think I ended up being a little bit kind of frustrated with the Caribou because it has potential to be fantastic, but there's just enough that they haven't done to kind of ruin it a little bit.
It's not. Is it one of those likely to be updated? It isn't, is it? Not often.
I don't know. I think someone was telling me that Orbex, sorry, actually contracted it, it to be built, and then they've licensed it into. But somebody else told me it was Builds that have done it, but I'm not really sure.
Well, it might stand a chance then.
Yeah, because Asobo, I don't think Asobo have really made any aeroplanes themselves. They just contract developers in to do stuff.
Well, I'm sure this one is going to get lots of mods.
Yeah.
They're not even prefixed with Asobo anymore. If you look at the folder structures, they're all say Microsoft these days.
Maybe they're changing the legal structure of how they hire people then to do it. It's frustrating, isn't it? It's like the new version of the Garmin avionics hasn't got any of the Navigraph integration in it.
Benito, your gear is still out.
But yeah, I imagine the integrated versions of the Garmin avionics kits, that must be a legal reason why Navigraph is no longer there.
Just another exciting tale overshadowed by the FlightSim.to debacle.
I haven't actually heard what's been going on with that. I saw that there was a big kerfuffle about people threatening to pull their aeroplanes and stuff out of the site.
Some main contributor did, but at the end they changed the rule. They accept to provide a right to delete the files. That was the main complaint for everyone.
So they were going to stop people deleting?
That was the initial plan, not to guarantee that you would be able to delete your files, which was just a nonsense, claiming that if your file is used in other library and things and so on. So Godfriends typically is no longer on FlightSim.to. They got kicked. They just provided a statement they will remove the free aircraft, and their account got kicked. So if you want to update your Godfriends aircraft, including the freeware, they have created a separate dedicated site for Godfriends.
Okay.
Well, they've said that if you've bought their payware through FlightSim.to, they'll continue to support it there.
Yeah, but that was the initial plan, and the issue is that their account has been cancelled by FlightSim.2, so they will still provide you the service, but I think they can no longer propose it through FlightSim.2. The initial plan was just to remove the freeware, not the payware, and the account got blocked. Yeah, at the end they changed every 2 days. The rules are now in the final terms of and condition. If it is just a standard file, you can delete it almost in 2 hours. It's only if it is a free aircraft or a library, then there is a minimum days of temporary period until it will be deleted. But basically any site used to provide freeware or add-ons for Sims, they have exactly the same terms of services.
I was going to say, most terms say that they have the right to change the terms whenever they feel like it.
No, so some people got in detail because, yeah, everyone is a lawyer, that's known, okay? And typically in some terms they say, yeah, they can change your files. Yeah, basically this is what they do when they just watermark FlightSim.2 on your pictures. It's an alteration of your file, okay? So some people went in the totally paranoid way. So yeah, it was quite fun to read some of the comments on the Discord.
Well, last year or 2 years ago, everybody was an epidemiologist, and about 3 weeks ago, everybody was a Chinese spy balloon expert. So I guess everybody could be a lawyer this week.
Oh, brilliant!
Fair point.
It always amuses me with the social networks with people complaining about them, and they always seem to forget that they get it all for free.
Yeah, Twitter. Everyone complaining about Twitter on Twitter.
I think Twitter has become the mansplaining centre of the universe.
Don't ever power of it.
I got to give Facebook an award. They haven't banned me for over a year.
Well, you're obviously not trying hard enough then.
Do you want them to ban you?
That's really disappointing.
Right, are we setting off then? I think some people already have.
Yeah, let's go.
I haven't even had a thread pulled.
So, 284 degrees. Something I can't figure out in this Piaggio thing is the binnacle compass obviously works, but there's a gyro compass in front of the pilot, but it doesn't read the direction you're going. Even if you press D, which in most aircraft corrects the gyro compass, it ends up massively off.
Look up. You have to turn it on the panel on the right.
Yeah, I've turned everything on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to adjust it with the right-hand knob till it lines up with your binnacle.
Yeah, so, but if you press D normally, that's a shortcut to do that for you, but it's not doing it. It's like about 60 degrees out all the time.
I'm just following you, it's easier.
Yeah, I'm just taking a quick look at little nav map now and again. So we're heading to that little island in the distance.
And the approach is 09 by the look of it, so we'll all be doing a little loop over there.
Yep, around the north end of the island, coming through the bay.
Is it Tango Echo, the one that's a grass runway?
Yep. Yeah, so Foxtrot Sierra is normal runway. And then 3 miles hop with a hill in the way.
Yeah, it's a very hard runway to land on properly.
So we'll see a few upside down. Well, that's when you got to choose the right aeroplane.
I love the way you said properly afterwards. Do you mean like with an aeroplane that can be used again?
Well, yeah, you want an aeroplane that can handle everything that's thrown at you, basically. Especially on our group flight. I stick to my trusty 208 because I can take that anywhere.
Any landing that leaves the craft flyable is a good landing.
Makes it difficult when somebody's turning upside down right in front of you, though.
Or when the Earth jumps up.
Oh, yeah, well, that doesn't help either, does it?
Any landing you can walk away from is a good landing, and if we can reuse the aircraft, that's a bonus.
I think we ought to have a flight 1 week with everybody's crash detection turned off.
Turned off or on?
Or on, whichever way it is. So if you hit anything, you blow up.
You're out. As a last man standing.
$5 in and winner takes all.
So we're going to Courchevel, are we? Or Paro, or
challenge accepted.
No, we'll just do an ATC one. I'll give you all various clearances, and as you burst them, you'll get excluded.
Microsoft.
Hong Kong KTAC, the old one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The Saints, it's just touch and go or what?
Yes, touch and goes all the way now. As I said, if you are ahead of the pack, fly a circuit once you've done your touch and go, so then you get to enjoy watching everybody else try and come in.
So are we going around that mountain and then fly the opposite runway?
Yeah, it should be going for runway 09, so for the wind, if you've got live weather on.
Going round the mountain.
So left-hand circuit, otherwise you will be hitting the mountain.
Anybody flying the Flying Iron Spitfire from the marketplace?
I did yesterday. I didn't notice any difference.
Did you not notice you've got weapons on it?
Oh, yeah, were they not fuel pods? Oh, actually, I did.
Don't tell Jason that.
Oh dear.
I know what I did, and I thought I was mistaken. I thought that's a fuel pod, but I couldn't get it back. But yeah, you're right. They're cannons.
Yeah, I think they'll end up pulling it again. But
Oh, since it's in the marketplace, yeah.
Mine disappeared halfway through a flight, and I thought, oh, I've dropped the tanks, or it's weird. But yeah, I swear they were a cannon. They look like a 50mm cannon poking out the front.
yeah. I copied the file over and archived it in case I can do something clever with it moving forward when they remove them again.
That's nice forward thinking.
That's a good idea. I'll see you in a minute.
They've upgraded it quite a few times, haven't they?
Yeah, it's really, I really like it.
I did a non-flight flight yesterday. Where was I? Oh, it was New Zealand. I stopped in New Zealand and I made some horrible stormy weather, and then you just sat in the Harrier for about an hour with my feet up drinking coffee in VR with a massive storm, listening to the rain. I think I fell asleep for about 10 minutes and then made the weather clear and disappeared off. It's one of the nicest evenings I've had. Strange. Just listening to the rain bounce off the top of the canopy.
So I guess it makes sense to go down the valley to the right of the airfield, doesn't it? To do the left circuit in.
And hug the shoreline until it comes into view at your approximately 10 or 11 o'clock.
I bought the Mount Cook regional airports from NZ Simulations in the sale, and spent the afternoon flying a helicopter around all of the mountain huts that it places in Mount Cook National Park.
Amazing scenery, isn't it?
Yeah, I've stayed in 2 of them, so it was quite a nice trip right down memory lane. But for £11, it's a good deal.
This is a fantastic bit of scenery around here, isn't it?
It is really good.
This is my first flight with the Toby 5, and it really does change everything, doesn't it?
Good bit, Kip.
Just being able to lean forward and peer out the window to find where the runway's disappeared to is fantastic.
Yeah, it's almost faultless. I mean, unless you start eating or yawning, it does track your mouth a lot. So if you do things with your mouth or you cover your mouth with your hand, it gets confused. So it's weird. If you start talking or eating, it can play up.
Tricky approach.
The Spitfire will be in its element.
To be honest, I do want to live on that hill right in front of the runway.
It would be a bit of a cow coming back from work, though, wouldn't it?
The approach was on the opposite runway.
A bit tiring.
Oh, it's so bumpy.
Yeah, the turbulence coming over those houses in front of the runway was awful. Which I think is fantastic.
Oh, that was close.
That was a really, really tricky landing.
Yeah, I can't imagine how difficult that is in the Caribou because that tends to sway as well at slow speeds.
No, it's not bad. Well, no, it didn't seem too bad. The Caribou is surprisingly agile, especially when it's got good power. Just power it, and it seems to turn in really nicely. I haven't managed to store it yet.
You can see the other airfield through the gap in the islands, can't you, straight away?
Oh, this is extremely turbulent.
Well, my father's been offered a free flight in a Tiger Moth.
Where's that going to be from then?
Sweet.
It's somewhere north of Beverley in East Yorkshire. He doesn't know where from, but he's just waiting for it to the temperature to warm up a little bit. He got speaking to a chap that he speaks to in the pub, and turns out he's in the Royal Air Force, and he flies one of these in his spare time.
Oh, look at those caribous going.
Okay, so I'm going for runway 09. I'm going to do a right circuit, I guess, to come in at the next one. Because there's a hill in the way of doing a left circuit.
Looking at the beer farm up, I can't tell which is my aircraft. It's just like 40 aircraft in a big bundle. Again, like 5-year-olds playing football.
Tricky approach, Jonathan, I'll tell you. You got to come in with a left hook at the end.
Is that the first one or the second airfield?
Are you over at the grass strip already?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I've already gone over there.
Okay. that way now.
It's just a straight in over the sea.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than the other one.
Anybody else have about a half dozen windmills obscuring the runway?
A half dozen what?
Wind turbines, windmills.
No.
That's very bizarre.
I have them too.
Who has We Love VFR?
Oh, there's a man down in the ocean.
It's alright, the sharks will get him, don't worry.
I think it was a splash for cash.
That's the Caribou with a one-wheel landing.
Oh yeah,
Wheel
I ran out of skill.
Kind of look like it's wheel collapse or something.
Shh! Don't give the game away. I'm having a great little game of pushing my luck.
Are you winning?
So far, yeah. 20-degree flaps now. It's on the stall turn and it's managed so far.
I'm taking that's STOL instead of STALL. IISTALL'd.
Oh, and I'm starting them again. Cool! Stalled my engines on the runway and they restarted. Lovely. Is that you, Joe? The TBM?
Yes.
Awesome. Literally can see what you've had for dinner.
Right, are we on to the next one?
Yep, I think so. So it's
Foxtrot Bravo.
Yeah, Foxtrot Bravo, 343 degrees, 22 miles, I think. No, 12 miles, sorry.
Yeah, 24 miles and you've gone too far.
Yeah, there were so many labels on the map I couldn't see the distance. I might have to fly formation with this Caribou that's in front of me.
Astonishing aircraft.
The Caribou is a bit lazy when you want to turn really sharp, but it's really fun to fly.
It gets there though. Once it goes, it's sort of no stopping it, and yeah, surprisingly, I'm sure it can't be quite that.
It's one of my favorites now. And it's going to be heavily modified, so it will get even better.
I like it. A bit of a hooligan aircraft.
In terms of engine noise, it's just a bit below. I would have expected
Yeah.
something more roared.
Yeah, it
Not
doesn't.
The big radial goose, for example, is really
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a radial, does it? Sounds a bit like someone hoovering next door.
Yeah, that's the same noise.
Really annoying hoovering.
So we got a Hercules in our fleet.
I could land on that. Yeah, I saw that. Well, we should try it.
It's modeled as an A380 on my side.
Look down, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I missed some windows underneath. They have put the windows up, but not down.
I was pulling the barnacles off the bottom.
That was close. I was looking at little nav map, and when I came back, I was about 3 foot off of the sea.
Loads of room.
Don't try drinking coffee at the same time because you end up going 180 degrees from the direction you thought you were. Especially if you're leaning. I was leaning on my yoke. Didn't realise it.
Oh, because the people that are going in are taking... Is there an air? There is. Okay, thank you. I was going to ask if there's an airport here because people are changing course.
Runway 14 by the look of it.
Or heading up the... I'm on a right-hand circuit, so... Oh, there's a good name. Invoicing Full 103.
Must love his job.
Must do, eh? Fishy impress.
He's got the works computer, obviously.
Well, what's that big spike at the end? Wow, that's weird. It's showing a great 200-foot piece of bamboo sticking in the air.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yep.
That was
It's
scary.
kind of shaft or antenna. Maybe it's an antenna.
Dave, can you try and crash into it?
You got to turn the labels off, otherwise you can't see the airstrip.
Oh my god, this caribou loops.
Either that or you've got some very sick passengers.
Big airliner there taxiing across the water.
Yeah, I pushed my luck too far.
Yep, caribou has just nosedived.
Yeah, I ran out of skill.
Call a helicopter.
It's nicely parked from here, then.
So does that make that a caribou?
A caribou.
Carabang.
Okay, so the next airfield has ILS. For anybody that wants to have a play with ILS.
Yeah, let's do it.
Floating coffee shop, Ellis.
You'll need 4,000 feet to get over these hills.
For the ILS, you're on 36 degrees. If you're just going straight the other way, it's 55 degrees.
Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Matter of choice.
I'll go over the hill and pick up the ILS, I think, just for a bit of fun.
Well, it depends if you're fan assisted.
I like sitting back and letting the aeroplane do it all every now and then. Is it 110.3, is it? 110.3.
110.3.
3, yeah. Like
Heading 116.
I got the SciTac radio stack, so it makes it look quite immersive. Is the word, isn't it?
First I gotta get over this bloody hill.
It's a big hill, isn't it?
I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it.
I'll skirt round the edge of it.
The general advice is to go up.
I cleared it well at 4,000 feet.
That advice just reminded me of that line from Blackadder where George asks Blackadder what he should do if he should stand on a landmine by accident.
Jump into you, 30 feet.
Yeah, no, some general practice is to jump 200 feet in the air and spread yourself over as wide an area as possible.
I think Ron Atkinson was much more funnier with Blackadder than with Mr. Bean and Johnny English and everything else.
Blackadder was brilliant.
Was amazing, amazing.
The whole Blackadder series is awesome. All of it.
It's interesting though that they changed the characters slowly, didn't they? So Blackadder and Baldrick actually swapped characters slowly throughout the series.
Yeah, it's the same story as Don Quixote and Sancho Panza.
Yes.
How come? Change the
Baldrick started out as the scheming clever one, and by the end of the 4th series he was the idiot. Blackadder started out as the idiot, and by the end of the 4th series was the scheming clever one. But they did it so carefully and slowly you didn't really notice.
Yeah,
You're obviously a big fan, Jonathan. You must be about the same age as my oldest boy.
Yes.
He used to keep us awake all night as you'd watch, you know, episode after episode, screaming his head off.
Well, you know, Baldrick had a plan. You know that, John, don't you?
Yes.
I think the best series, Hitchhikers.
Yeah, that was good.
The jokes are very, very cunning jokes.
Evening, Tom.
Sorry, what was that ILS heading, please?
116.
116, thank you.
110.3.
Yeah, unfortunately I don't have nav radios in this little trainer, so I won't be doing it. I'll go zooming off towards the airfield though, try and get there before you guys and watch you coming in.
Right, I'm over the top. I can lose some altitude now.
I think we're going to get to the destination at the end of the trip, just in time for sunset, you know.
Would be nice.
You're using real time?
Yeah.
And so there is a small geographical curiosity here. You can see the land is very tiny between the two areas, and actually there is it's not a river, it's basically it's the sea that goes between what we see on the left and what we see on the right. So officially these are two different islands, because you have the sea between the two. It's not a single island.
How's everyone so quiet?
They're all concentrating to tune in their ILS, I think.
Focused, focused. 110.30.
Can't even read the numbers on that console in this Caribou.
Yeah, you have to use the preset views, and even with the preset views, it's very tiny.
I cannot see it at all. Nope. I'll just bang my head on the table. Now my nose hurts because the headset went into my nose. Leaned forward too far and it cracked it. So that hurts. So I'm just going to follow you lot.
It's funny, on the map you see everybody spreading out.
That is something we've noticed actually over time on these flights. Whenever we have like an approach into somewhere that's fairly big, everybody does tend to self-organise. It's interesting to watch.
Scared of Joe having a crack at you.
How unkind.
Joe secretly judging everybody who's got a list.
I think I actually have the 149 dialed in now.
Webcam on again.
He's actually got little rectangular bits of cardboard in a long row across his desk with everybody's call sign on.
I have left my webcam on.
Strangely enough, anybody gives him lip, they just have to go around. It's just strange.
That's right.
Either that or you'll threaten to cancel your license, probably.
Yeah, I think my autopilot is broken on the Piper.
There's something wrong with mine too.
Yeah, it is broken on the Piper for sure, yeah.
Quite annoying.
I was going to tell that fellow he needed to put his undercarriage down.
I just saw someone try to do a barrel roll at about 30 feet and it didn't go well.
No, it didn't, Jonathan. He was right in front of me. Yes, it was a little bit of an obstacle. I've had a few of those today, unfortunately. Managed to survive.
Yeah, well, ironically, we've got enough stands here to park everybody.
There was an ATR on the runway.
Unusual topography down here. There's a whole lot of little bumps.
Yeah, just before you go over the water, you have a big dip. Watch it.
Sudden updraft on short final.
Okay, 101 degrees for the next airfield.
intercept the signal. The ILS way too far behind.
That sun setting behind is stunning.
So if everybody has their lights on now, hopefully as the sun goes down we'll all start lighting the evening sky up.
I just remembered on the 149 you can open the canopy without crashing to desktop or main screen.
The live weather's not looking too healthy. Oh, okay, no, sorry, it's absolutely hammering down, it's not now.
Really clear evening and all the lights are starting.
Yeah, I've just switched to live weather and it's absolutely pitch black and raining, but it was carried it over from the settings yesterday, disappeared quickly enough.
Beautiful small little hills out here, though.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Quite funny topography, isn't it? It's really at the lots of little tiny hills, valleys.
It's one big old problem.
Not meant for roads.
Sim's just frozen for me. Hopefully it won't freeze for too long.
Well, if you turn your de-icing on, it might help.
Whenever the sim freezes, someone said earlier it's either the multiplayer servers are playing up or the weather, and I'm tending to agree with them. Because whenever it happens, all of the aircraft vanish. Or the weather changes when it comes back.
And you just vanished from the...
Yep.
Which is good with 149 canopy, isn't it? I didn't know you could do that either. It's good.
Just switch to night. It's quite effective with all the lights.
Can I get a voice check, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
It's getting a bit busy in these skies.
Look out, Dave. There's a lot of pylons down here of some kind.
I can't see them. It's pitch black with just lit up town.
Right on dusk for me, and I can see them. I don't know what they are, but
I'm going to go flat out.
just thought I'd warn you. You were in the pitch black.
I'm just going to go flat out across the sea to get to this island.
Wind turbines.
Yeah, they're wind turbines. That's what they are. Yeah, you can see them
Only
here.
1,000 feet, so they're not going to bother me.
Hey, Jonesy, this is Tom. Took me a while to realize that I needed a push-to-talk button.
I thought you were just being rude. It's fine. Don't worry.
I missed that button too.
Yeah, the only reason we have push to talk for the events is for safety reasons, really. You know, safeguarding, I should say. Because we have, in the early days when we did the group flights, we heard some things in the background we shouldn't have heard.
Like the wife shouting at the pilots for wasting their time on here.
And not coming to dinner straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not yet, no, when you
Conferences.
when you record.
We all know now where Lord Lucan went.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Tom. Tom's first flight, Baker Flight's first flight on this one.
Oh, nice to see you there.
Yeah, welcome, Tom.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Where you from, Tom?
Originally from Chicago, and I'm retired now and living in Florida.
It's my first flight too.
Ah, welcome.
And I'm also Tom.
It's a new rule. You have to be called Tom.
Tom.
Okay, you can
Tom
call
1
me
and
Tom as
Tom
well.
2. Who's going to be what?
I'm Tom.
And the other one's Tom.
I'm Tom, and so is my wife.
That's a lot of Tom.
She wears the trousers.
Oh, dear.
I was hoping that was coming.
On Facebook, that they met on Facebook. They have exactly from start to from beginning to end exactly the same name.
That's great.
Yeah, they got married because of that.
Yeah, that saves a lot of paperwork.
Are you sure it's the right signature in front of the right name? Must be tricky.
So I'm going to tell a
Which
little.
runway got lights?
I'll tell you a little bit of a story. I'm not going to tell too much of it because it's not my story to tell, but somebody I work with split up with his other half, and she then, for various legal tricks, started going out with somebody with exactly the same name as him. Because then obviously they could sign things.
Oh. Sounds like a British girl.
Have you got a number? I like her already.
That would never have even occurred to me. That's just far too crafty, isn't it?
Really is.
Better than that is that a woman that is looking for a nanny, but a man, okay, and she was on Facebook asking legal advice if she could put him on child support just because he was taking care of the children of her child, as any father would take.
Oh my word. Right, I have arrived at the airfield ahead of everybody. I will circle overhead watching you all come into land.
This looks quite short.
I can see you at 1 o'clock, Jonathan.
I'll watch plane bounces once.
Yeah, got the runway in sight.
If anybody looks back, the sun is just above the horizon.
This is epic.
And they haven't got the runway lit.
Fishy's down. First one is down.
Somebody on the shop.
Oh, I'm going to watch from the sidelines. Imagine's down. Ellis is almost touched down. Lovely.
There's not much parking, so this could be interesting.
Well, that's why, yeah, you get here early, guys.
I'm falling behind.
Even from 1,000 feet, I can see the taxi lights lighting up the runway. It's beautiful.
What's the airport elevation?
It's about 2 feet, I think. It's just off sea level.
Okay, sea level.
Well, it looks good inverted.
Undercarriage down, for God's sake. Oh, yeah, got it down just in time, but he hooked the end of the tarmac. Oh, he's disappeared now. There goes Jonathan on his circuit. Here comes another caravan.
Right on the numbers.
I'm going to file it in front of you, Tom.
Which Tom?
Baker. No, we're all called Tom. Let's work it out. Sorry, Baker, I'll come in front of you.
I see ya.
Who's Tom Bear?
Nice landing, Captain Quasar.
Thank you.
Another nice one there. Who's that? TBM gone by. That was nice too.
We do try.
Well, I'm feeling the pressure now.
Sim doesn't like me. You've all disappeared.
Yeah, I just had the same issue.
Interesting approach from Caribou.
We're all back again now.
I collided with a tree, and yeah. That's the end of it.
3-1.
Dave Russ 1975's hovering in a He must be in a chopper. A Bell 407, but I don't have that. So he looks like a, I don't know.
It's a stock aircraft, the Bell.
Just a longitude or something like that.
Yeah, there's
If you don't have don't have the livery, sometimes it changes.
But Cowan Sims do one as well.
There are stock Bells, I can see them.
Oh, okay.
Jonathan now then.
Yeah, just coming in on finals.
Everyone flashed their landing lights on and off, put them off.
They've definitely done something. This is much smoother than I've ever seen it with this many aircraft.
Oh, for a few seconds there, everybody disappeared on my set.
Yeah, me too. They did, but you all came back.
They are coming back slowly, but oh, there's another few. They all disappeared together. Must be Microsoft playing balls.
I see the same bug is still there if you
Oh
open.
yeah, you've all gone there.
If you open the door and there's a plane the same as you, it mimics what you do.
FSX used to do that.
I've got a Cessna 310R, and if I open my door, I can see his door opens at the same time.
It's like the smoke. If you have smoke, everyone has smoke.
Interesting. I'm in the 149, and when I see another 149, it doesn't have an undercarriage, it just hovers.
I can hear the waves lapping up on the beach.
I think I'm a ghost. A King Air's just gone straight through me.
Well, take a couple of Alka-Seltz, will be fine.
Oh, they just fall through.
You need ammonium then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there is a standard bell. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. It's right above me.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think we've got no photogrammetry, we've got no major airports anywhere near. You want a server away, miles away from anything else. If it doesn't perform well, I'll be pretty unhappy.
It's interesting. I lost all the aircraft then all of a sudden, so it's a common thing. We're probably overloading it, to be honest.
Yeah, you've disappeared, Jonathan. You're not even in the sky anymore.
Yeah.
Have you landed yet?
I've landed, yeah, but the aircraft are just loading in around me, so we're obviously just overloading the multiplayer slightly.
All right, guys. Thank you for a lovely flight. And
that was lovely.
Yeah, I'm going to
thank you.
That's great, thank you.
Very nice.
Thanks.
I'll go and get another coffee and go and look out the window at the bloody rain.
So
it's supposed to be summer.
Thanks go to Peter once again for organising the flight. Well done.
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the flight. See you
night.
next time.
Bye-bye.
It was a nice first flight.
Great
Thanks,
flight.
guys.
Cool. See you soon.
Jonesy, thanks for the invite.
Yeah, thanks for everything. And good night, gentlemen.